Hey everyone, Paul here with another film review for you. Last night I went to watch The Walk, which is a film about a man who builds a tightrope between the Twin Towers of New York and walks it, basically. It's based on a true story. This really happened. I'll give you a quick summary of what the film's about, because it's not just about him walking along the tightrope. There's a lot more to it, which is really good actually, because it wouldn't have been that great a film if it was just about him walking along a rope. It would have been, entertaining, of course, but I'm glad there's a lot more to it than that. So it starts off with the main character called Philippe, who is a French tightrope walker slash street performer, because he does more than just walk along a tightrope. He juggles and mimes and stuff. But he actually, the character played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, introduces the film to us, and he kind of narrates the film continuously throughout the film. He starts off with him as a kid sneaking into a circus shown at his hometown. I'm not sure where in France he lives, but somewhere. I don't know if they covered that. They probably did, but I don't remember, and it's not important, to be honest. So he's a kid sneaking into this circus performing in his hometown in France somewhere, and he watches the main performer, who is a tightrope walker himself, professional tightrope walker, and this is where he gains his inspiration and dreams of becoming one himself. So he makes friends with this professional tightrope walker, and over time, as he gets older, he learns all the tricks and how to do all this professionally. And at one stage in his life, Philippe sees this advert in a newspaper advertising the buildings of the Twin Towers in New York. This film is set like 1940 something like that, so this is like quite a while in the past. Twin Towers haven't been built yet or anything, but he sees an advert about it being built, and he decides that the Twin Towers is the place where he wants to do his grand performance, his grand public performance, for everyone to see and for him to have his dreams come true. Because at the moment he's just walking along a rope between a couple of trees or a couple of lampposts, building like not that high off the ground. But this will be his masterpiece that his ambition is driven towards. So over time he moves to New York. He builds up a team of colleagues, so like a group to help him pull off this stunt. Friends he's made in France, friends he's made in New York, get together, and he decides that he's going to do this performance, I think like the day after the Twin Towers have finished being built, but he has to do it really early in the morning to avoid anyone who's working in these buildings to see him or disrupt his putting this tightrope up, constructing it between the towers, because obviously this sort of performance is illegal, and they need to avoid any public as much as possible, so they put the rope up towards between the towers overnight, and he aims to do this walk like 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Of course a couple of things go wrong, but he still gets it done. I don't think I'm giving away anything by saying that he gets the tightrope set up between the towers and starts to walk it. Of course, there's a lot more to the film than that, but that's basically it. I can't really spoil the film because it's based on true events and people know what's going to happen in the film anyway. That's what they go to see the film for. As also said, it's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it, who is one of my favourite actors of recent years, really, because I've only been watching his films. He's only been kind of mainstream like for the past 10-15 years, I guess, which is when he's become really famous and he's been in all these films, and I can't fault him. Any film I've seen him in I've really liked. I can't think of one film where I haven't liked his performance. The really good thing he does in this film is he's playing a French guy, and his French is flawless, to be honest. I cannot deny any part of his French in the film. His accent is really good, his speaking is really good. The fact that he has to transcend between French and American, English rather, constantly throughout the film, and he can just do it so fluently, it's really incredible. Sometimes when you get actors putting on an accent or another language, you can tell that it's forced, it's not real, or that's just not how they're supposed to sound. But with this, if you've never seen any of his films before, and you didn't know that he was American or whatever, you probably wouldn't know that French wasn't his main language, because he's just so good at it. It's really incredible. I wish I could speak another language like that. He's clearly worked really hard to get to how, I can't think of the word I want to use, but how well he pulls it off. I can't think of the names of the other actors in this film, but they all do their parts really well. You got the main tightrope walker, who he's learns everything about from. You got his girlfriend, who he meets performing. His crew, who he meets at various stages through the film. They all do a terrific job. I'd also like to point out that I saw this film in 3D, not by choice. My friend wanted to see it, and the only showing that he could really see was in 3D, because any 2D showings would have been a bit late to watch. But I've got to say, I'm really glad that we did see it in 3D, because usually 3D doesn't add much of an effect to the film. I guess it's primarily used in like horrors or thrillers or something like that to give the audience a jump scare. Basically, if you have something in 3D, you want something jumping out at you, and that's why horror films use it, to have something jump at you, make you scared. A lot of the time it doesn't work. Any other time you use 3D in a film, it doesn't really add much to the film. It's just, if you want to know anything about 3D, oh, there's a cat in the way. If you want to know anything about 3D use of it, Nostalgia Critic recently did a really good talk about 3D use in one of his films, which I agree a lot on. 3D's good if it's used correctly, otherwise it's just being used as a cheap gimmick and doesn't add much to it. I advise you check out that video. I'll try and post a link to it below. But anyway, this film actually made really good use of the 3D, considering this film's all about him walking along this tightrope in a really high building and everything, the 3D gives it really gives it depth. It makes it feel like, you know, especially when he's walking and you see down below, you're like, yeah, that's high. he is really high, and that's crazy. And it's not just when he's walking, it's throughout the whole film. You feel the depth. Even if he's just like in a house, in the kitchen, you can feel him here and the background there. The 3D just really works in this film. And I didn't know this going in, but the film's directed by Robert Zemeckis. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, to be honest. But he seems to be a fan of using 3D in his films. More recently than anything, like Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, for example, Robert Zemeckis, that was done in 3D. Polar Express, again, Robert Zemeckis 3D film. I haven't actually watched those two films in 3D, I've only seen them in 2D, but I'm guessing that they worked well. And both those films were animation, so that probably would have worked really well as well. But this is a live action film in 3D, and the 3D, as I said, just really adds the depth to it. So I don't often say this, but I would recommend watching this in 3D as opposed to just going seeing it in 2D, because this just adds to the whole experience of the film, which is what 3D really should do. As I said, check out Nostalgia Critic's opinion on that. I also want to point out that when I saw the trailer for this, I didn't think it was going to be that good. I just thought this is going to be about a guy who walks along the wire. We already know what happens, you know, we've heard the story, we know how it ends and everything. But I'm actually really glad I did see this film, because it's probably going to end up being, well, it's definitely going to be one of the top films of October 2015, alongside The Martian. But it may also end up being one of the best films of this year as well, because everyone who's seen it, that I know has seen it, has said they really enjoyed it, said it was really good. I personally don't have any issues with the film. I can't find any flaws with it. The performances were really good. The story was really good. It showed a lot of detail, which I was happy about. Yeah. All I can say is go see this film. See it in 3D if you can, because that will just add to the effect. And enjoy it. If you've seen this film, or if you haven't, and then you go see it and then see this, let me know what you thought about the film. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you watch this and there's something you think that I can do to improve on these videos, please let me know, because I would love to work on these more. As I said before, I don't have any like gimmicks, special outros, special intros, advanced programming or anything that I can use to splice in various things in the video. But I definitely want to work towards that, so please like it if you liked it, check out my other videos, subscribe, just, you know, all the usual stuff that YouTubers want you to do. I'm not going to call myself a YouTuber yet, because I've only just done a few videos. But yeah, that's it. Definitely go check out this film, it's really good, I highly recommend it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.